Hello and welcome to Capricorn Makes. I'm Stacy and today I'm going to be doing a very short coffee and dollies. The sun has just come up here. It's quite early in the morning. It's very cold. This is the coldest part of the house. Oh, and because my cats are not allowed in here, I either have to put the cats away and have the house open, or I have to like leave this door closed, and the houses here in New Zealand don't usually have central heating, so we have a heat pump unit in one side of our long skinny rectangular house, and this is the far corner of the house from that. So unless I have everything open and I'm very careful about circulation, this place is very cold in the wintertime. I usually have a little space heater going on in here, but I actually need to repair it. Like, it's been living in the bedroom. And again, not that it's very cold here, but the damp really sort of amplifies the amount of cold that it does get. I mean, this is a subtropical climate, so it's like the heat is a damp heat, or it's a humid, muggy heat, and then the cold, like, it just feels colder. So yes, I'm in proper pajamas. Like, I'm all bundled up in my in my crazy bright robe, and I just wanted to share a few things. So the biggest news is that I bought the Mirodoll is having their 40% off sale, and I bought one of the Mirodoll MSD old style girl bodies for Delaney, who is so this is Anthem's head. This is Anthem's head. Anthem is supposed to be quite tall, and she is hopefully getting the Gem of Doll falling body that's coming. It probably won't be here until September, maybe. It might be here earlier, but I'm not thinking it'll be here until September. She's slated for that body, which is a 45 centimeter body. It's very tall for a girl, for a female body, in this scale, but without jumping up to like the Vito size. But Delaney is the head, the Gem of Doll head that's coming, which I believe is the Sophiar sculpt. And she is supposed to be extremely tiny. I was actually looking at like the Moe line bodies for her, because she's that sort of super teeny tiny, except she's kind of she's so some of her themes are she's sort of like, when I was originally developing her character, it was known as Candy Floss. Her eyes are so where Anthem has the red glow in her eyes, Delaney's is blue, and she is sort of a seer. She's based off of the in the sort of late Baroque period, they had these marionettes. They weren't marionettes, they were automatons that played the piano. And I believe there were some dancers at the time as well. And her original concept as an android showpiece that I'll talk about when I flesh out the Velveteen world a little bit, was coming from this background. So when she's in her costume, she's all dressed up in the Rococo style. Marie Antoinette, Madame de Pompier, she's going to have crazy wigs, like the big poofy amazing crazy wigs. There's this wig that's been done by a human wig maker. Oh, I'm blanking on her name. She does the Junkrat cosplay. That's so amazing with the smoking wigs. I'll leave a link to her down below, as well as a link to the picture of the wig I'm talking about. But the wig itself is one of those crazy white big wigs, but it has kraken tendrils coming up and are eating a ship. So I'm looking into making some really crazy wigs for Delaney like that. And just, I'm looking forward to putting that really complicated set for her to be in, as well as costuming for the Rococo time period, all of the froth and frills and lace. So Back to the Mirodoll body. The reason why I decided to go with this body was because to stay on like my saving pace in order to buy the dolls that I want when I'm suspecting events will come up. It looked like Delaney wasn't going to be able to get a body until the middle of next year sometime, except for the fact that the only criteria I have for her body really is she has to be tiny, and she has to, like, it needs to look good in Rococo period clothing, which really is all about the bust and the collarbones, of which the Mirodoll body has that look and is super tiny. I believe the small Mirodoll MSD old style bodies are shorter than the Moe lines, which I think are 40 or 41 centimeters. I couldn't actually get a proper height, but they are coming in at that 40 centimeter mark. I do think there is going to be just a tiny bit of neck gaping, but with a body that expensive, I'm not fussed at all about maybe using a little bit of epoxy sculpt to build up the neck just a little bit, or change any kind of curves. Or, I mean, like, I'm looking forward to having a body that I can play with, that I can carve up, that I can just sort of not have to worry about being careful with. Especially because my first body that's coming in is so, or the first body that I ordered, which is the embossed Gem of Doll Fa Lang, is such an enormously, it's a limited body. It's weird because it has all of the extra embossing on it. It's not really a normal body, and I don't really feel comfortable at this time like playing with any kind of mods for it. And the fact that the Mirodoll body hands for this are awful. They look terrible. Is okay actually, because I don't like the Gem of Doll hands for Anthem. So I'm hoping to get her a pair of the Legend Doll hands, the MSD hands, for Anthem's body, which means that if everything goes right, the hands from the Gem of Doll Fa Lang body will also go on the Mirodoll body along with the head. And so hopefully all of that will work out, and I'm okay sort of playing with a little bit to make that happen. So hopefully that body will arrive in a few weeks, and I'm going to stick Anthem on it just so that I have a whole doll, because that will be fun to play with. I mean, like, I have her here, and I'm like, no, I can't. I mean, it's not a matter of not waiting, it's just, like, having the opportunity to buy a 40% off body, which I think it was like 54 USD, which is nothing. I mean, like, technically I'll have a whole doll for less than $90, something like that. I mean, it's, works for me, and, yeah, so I mean, it will, even if this Mirodoll body only ends up being a placeholder until, like, if it doesn't end up working terribly well, I will be happy to be able to have both Anthem and Delaney on bodies until I can afford a better body for whoever ends up needing it. Yeah, so I mean, I'm pleased to be able to take this step, because it's such a small investment for something that will give me, I think, an inordinate amount of enjoyment. So like, other things that I'm working on right now, like, I have not done very much doll sewing. I've been having this weird thing that's been going on right now where I'm a little bit not worried. Worried is the wrong word, and it's not really like a loss of confidence, but I think it's more of a lack of vision. I got the outfit sewn for Fern that I was really wanting to make, and I got it, and I went, oh, that's exactly what I want. And then when I went to go back to sew some of my other pieces that I didn't necessarily have that much of a vision for, oh yeah, I want bloomers, oh yeah, I want this, I want that, now I know where all the pieces are. I'm just like, well, yes, I can make these clothes, but I don't really have a very clear, like, I don't know who will wear them, or, like, sure, they're for the dolls that I have, but I don't like they don't need them for anything, and I'm just having a little bit of a crisis. I can see the light on the horizon there, and I'm probably going to get back into doll sewing. Probably this week, maybe next week, because what's been taking up a lot of my time is that Woolfest is coming up this weekend. And I wanted to show you some of the stuff that I've been finishing up beforehand. Well, not some of the stuff, the thing. Because I work out in the lounge for a lot of my crafts, and I have to keep the cats out of the crafts, I finally found a box that works really well for keeping the cats out of it. This isn't exactly like a Tupperware lid, but it actually fits inside and can't be knocked off. And it's also, it's concave, so that when the cats sit on it, it doesn't buckle inwards, because it's not like a bubbly lid so that when the cats sit on it, like it breaks the plastic. It's already down. Like they're meant to be stacked, so it's meant to hold a lot of weight. So when my really big cat, I mean, he's lost quite a bit of weight, but I still think he's like 16 or 17 pounds. When he sits on this, it's not breaking. It's not going to break. So I'm really pleased to have this. But I have this large project. Well, it's not a really large project, but it's, so I filled one bobbin with this red, and it's like red and green and black and pink, kind of. I filled this bobbin, and I'm working on filling a second one with this, which is same color family, but just a different fiber. But I'm working on finishing spinning the rest of this up. I think I've got, so 8 ounces went onto this bobbin, which it really packed it on, because yeah, it's a lot for one bobbin. And then I've got another 8 ounces that I'm putting on. Is it 8? Yeah. Another 8 ounces that I'm putting on the other one, and then I will apply those together. This is the last spinning that I'll be doing before Woolfest, which is this weekend. Now, I did have some money set aside for it to be able to pick up quite a few skeins, and I was looking forward to being able to show you the sorts of things that I bought from that. Oops, the end of my video got eaten, so let's see if I can remember where I was and what I was talking about. Was Woolfest. Right, so I did have some money saved up for Woolfest. It only happens once a year, and I had plenty of time to plan for it. And so I've been setting money aside so that I could really have fun while I'm there, picking up whatever. Like last year I bought a number of braids, and I bought like a small mini loom that I really enjoyed playing with, and you know, just some locks that I think are going to be a lot of fun. But because my focus has been towards these dolls, the dolls are a new thing, I have been taking money from my Woolfest stash in order to buy some of the doll things. And I had sort of a hard line. I'm like, right, I'm not going to spend any more out of this because I still want to be able to buy things. And then the Mirodoll body came up, and so I'm like, okay, fine, I will take this and no more, because I actually do want to be able to go and just play and spend, because it's very rare that you get a number of traders together like this that you can buy things from in person. Although it occurred to me that the one person that I was looking to buy fiber from lives in my city and is really easy to buy from because this is her primary business that she runs. So I might just go and window shop and just confirm that I want these colors. If there's anything new, I might grab something from there and focus the money that I do have remaining on buying, like I might be able to get some fiber for wig making, like some locks and things like that. There might be mohair, there might be alpaca, there might be things like that I can actually go and get, and just sort of focus my money elsewhere, because I can always pick up those other things from this lady who is a local business person. And so I was quite pleased with that. I didn't think I was going to have those funds to be able to do the Mirodoll body purchase, and then you know, it's just a matter of priorities. It's like, where is my focus going? Where do I want to spend the bulk of this money? And the thing is, I believe in a previous video I said I had 14 fleeces that was an incorrect number. I actually have closer to 23 fleeces, I think. I think I will focus on getting my fleeces processed and spun up, and start doing things with those. Now, that was my plan anyway, and what I was going to do was, the skeins that I bought at Woolfest were going to be my sort of reward skeins, so like every time I finished a fleece I'd be able to spin something that was not difficult to spin, that didn't require any preparation, that was colorful. However, I can acquire those sort of as I go if I buy them from the local lady, so I'm alright with that. So a little bit of foresight and a little bit of planning and a little bit of knowing what you're doing can give you some wiggle room sometimes if you know like what's upcoming and what isn't, and in what order you really want to do things. I think that may have been it. So we'll end it here. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.